Have you ever done something where you felt like it needed to be absolutely perfect? I have, especially when it comes to streaming something live. You get one shot to get it right. I need 4 stationary cameras pointing exactly at these angles and 2 remote control cameras with 5 presets each. While that may work sometimes, you can't always trust that you can handle it. Sometimes it's just better to keep it simple for yourself. One time I was preparing to stream a church service live. Little did I know, there would be people singing on each half of the balcony, in the pews, an organist, and a pianist. My brain thought, I need a different shot of all of them. Sounds easy, right? No, it was not easy. I was switching camera angles left and right, all while juggling the mics in the room to capture everyone. I was so overwhelmed. If you saw me that day, I would be sweating because of how prepared, yet unprepared I was. According to a study done by the World Health Organization, overwork and burnout contribute to more than 745,000 deaths per year. When I read that article, I realized that I shouldn't try to be perfect, but I should do the best I can without overwhelming myself. Anyways, simplicity is almost always a good thing, but sometimes it's just not an option. So in situations like that, you should plan ahead, be prepared, and possibly make some compromises, whether that be because of budget constraints or to not stress yourself out. You should just try your best. But once you take that too far and try and make it perfect, that is when you will mess up one way or another. But the issue with getting ready beforehand is that you may get obsessed with it. I've learned this the hard way. One night, I was getting prepared to stream a special event the next day. I was making diagrams, pre-planning cable routes, and visualizing almost everything in my head. I did this for a while, but didn't realize the time until it was past 1 a.m. I ended up not getting enough sleep that night, and when I actually had to stream the event that I spent so much time planning, I fell asleep halfway through. So you really shouldn't overthink it. You may think you're doing yourself a favor by pre-planning everything, which sometimes is true, but there's always the possibility that you'll screw it up. You should expect to mess up and get as close as you can to perfect, but whatever you do, don't try and be perfect. If you are listening to this speech and think that you would never do something like this, then you may not be self-aware. Did you know that around 95% of people think that they are self-aware, but only 10 to 15% actually are? I didn't. But when I think about these numbers, they actually make sense. When you're first starting out in anything, you will make mistakes, and you might not even notice. The best way I avoid mistakes when I'm producing something live is by asking myself, what would I want to see and how would I want to see it? Thinking from the perspective of the viewer is crucial for any live stream, and it even applies to standard video production in some cases. But like everything else in this field, don't overthink it. Sure, you should plan ahead and be prepared for the worst scenario, but don't plan a 10-step solution when it can be done in 3 steps. Sometimes there are problems that can't be predicted or visualized in your head beforehand. The best defense I have against this is to get on site 45 minutes to an hour before the stream. In that time, I can set everything up early, get camera presets, and most importantly, get everything working correctly. Even if there's an issue with something unrelated to my job, it can still affect the outcome of the stream. For example, when I'm streaming church services, there are worship slides that go hand in hand with the lower third text. So I have to help out with the presentation software sometimes. Most of that happens before the service though, so it isn't something I'm focusing on much. All of this doesn't just apply to live video production. You can still apply things like this in your everyday life too. Get close to perfect, but don't try to be perfect.